Hi, this is Jack Razumich with Razumich and Delamater, and today I want to answer the question about whether or not undercover police officers need to identify themselves. Before I do that, I'd like to remind you once again that if you have any questions about this video or any of our other videos, click the link below to be taken to a page where you can schedule a free evaluation on your case. Scheduling a case evaluation is perfectly free, and we're more than happy to sit down and speak with you. We've all seen movies where a police officer is working deep undercover with a gang and he's turning evidence over to his friends, and the gang is starting to get busted up, and the gang leader starts menacingly walking up and down and saying, "We have a cop in our midst." And he goes one by one and asks every single person whether or not they're a cop. And the undercover officer has to think of some way really quickly to get out of that before they ask him if he's a police officer, because he knows that he has to tell them. Well, like a lot of things you see in movies and television, that's not actually true. Police officers are under no obligation to identify themselves as police officers, especially when they're working undercover. The most obvious reason for that is that would end up with a lot of dead police officers, and nobody wants that. The number one place where we see this issue come up these days is in prostitution cases. Thanks to the internet, most people aren't walking streets anymore, they're posting ads online, and it's very common to see as part of that advertisement a statement that by contacting me you agree that you're not affiliated with any law enforcement agency and that violation of this agreement is entrapment. That is absolutely false. First, again, as I mentioned before, the police have absolutely no responsibility or a requirement to identify themselves. And even if that argument was correct, you're not going to get an awful lot of credibility with the jury when you stand in front of them and say, well, yes, I committed this criminal act, but that police officer lied to me. It's not going to go over well. It's not going to be a good defense. The second is that's not actually what entrapment is. The police lying to you is not entrapment. We'll discuss entrapment in a little bit greater detail in another video, but generally speaking, for a case to be entrapment, what needs to happen is the police have to basically force you to commit a criminal act that you otherwise wouldn't have. If you were going to be engaging in that illegal activity anyway, but for the police officer, you're not going to be able to claim entrapment. Now, the police are still the police, whether they're working undercover, whether they're working in a full uniform. That means they do have certain rules that still need to be followed. Undercover officers are not allowed to engage in what's referred to as outrageous behavior. And what is or isn't outrageous behavior can vary based off of the circumstances. Because that's a unique factor of every individual case, we do strongly recommend that if you have been arrested by an undercover police officer and you think that the officer's actions were inappropriate or incorrect, we do encourage you to sit down and speak with your attorney about it to make sure that your attorney has all the facts and the ability to tell you exactly what defenses are and are not available to you. I hope that answers that question. That's a question we get a lot about whether or not undercover officers need to identify themselves. Once again, if you have any questions about this video or any other area of the law, click the link below to be taken to a page to schedule your free case evaluation. I look forward to speaking with you.